right, it's been a while since we've done one of the beautiful, beautiful discussions we like to call a food run. No, we're not going to order food on this video. We get to go inside. So anyway, I've been reading a lot of comments about the Noble Knight Link Monster, and I've been hearing a lot of negativity about how it doesn't quote-unquote help Noble Knights? What? So, the Noble Knight Link Monster can actually be made relatively easily. It's literally what Meddrot equips, and the equip bring out whoever the hell you want. Boars do what Boars does. Generally, I mean, you can go into the Link Monster. A lot of people are like, well, you go into Artorgiath. Well, sometimes. So here's the thing. The Noble Knight Link Monster, Noble Knights in general have always had two issues. One, Konami, for whatever reason, has always kind of refused to give them their own reinforcement of the army. And let's be real here, they need that Rhoda. And when Rhoda was running around at multiples, the deck had the potential to play those. And the deck was doing good. Lost of Kaiser Coliseum really sucked. A lot, actually. A lot more than I actually wish it would have. But at the end of the day, you know, that's a loss we can't get over. So, the Link Monster is fundamentally a last support card that they're getting for a very long time. You have to do two things with it. You needed to fix the equip issue, which one of the biggest issues that that deck actually had was, well, you know, if you're playing too many equip cards, you dead draw an equip card and be in an extremely shitty situation. So, the dumping effect to be able to special summon a monster, a warrior, from the deck, actually is extremely wonderful. And I think a lot of people are just, they were looking to these monsters to be quote-unquote generic monsters. Y'all got spoiled. And I mean, everybody got hella spoiled when they released, what was it? The Crystron monster, the one that acted for Synchrons. And then, you know, the plant monster, you know, the one that literally goes into everything. I think a lot of people, they saw that these cards were generic, and then they were like, oh, well, shit. And they kept grabbing at, like, these quote-unquote, you know, cards that could be used more generically. Now, don't get me wrong. The Noble Knight Link Monster is phenomenal for warrior decks. And the reason why I say that is I was talking to a few hero players, and they're like, well, you know, we can finally replace Mrs. Radiant for a guaranteed search. And I think it's, once again, I think a lot of people are, they're looking at this as like, oh, well, it's incredibly terrible. No, it literally, it sucks that the monster you add to your hand, you can't literally do anything with it that turn. And if you haven't realized, the way that I think it's being handled for the rulings is you can fuse with it for like heroes and things like that. It doesn't have that prohibition clause. Also, oddly enough, they didn't include the for the rest of the turn text on him, which is pretty fucking weird. I definitely would have thought that they would have included that, because, you know, if you normal summon Meddrot equip and then you go up the line, as it currently stands, it says during this turn in the card text. So I'm under the assumption that if you apply that effect, that you cannot add the card for the effect that you've used this turn, which actually just really kind of sucks. I really wish they wouldn't have done it that way, but it is what it is. So moving on along here. Aspects for this thing in other decks, I've heard a lot of Six Samurai players that were extremely happy about this. I think I've heard more from the hero players, or more from the Six Samurai players than the hero players. Hero players are still crying over in the corner for that extra hero thing that they were given. You know, the one that the arrows are incredibly terrible because it points up for some awkward reason. Like, that's literally just insult to injury for every hero player. But now, heroes have another additional Rhoda. Sucks you can't go grab your Bubble Man. I really wish I could do that. Who wouldn't love being able to just go, haha, add Bubble Man, special summon Bubble Man? It'd be a little bit too ridiculous. But the fact that you can go Link into the Hero 1, recur something for the next turn, it's definitely, it's got its perks. Now, back to the Noble Knight discussion of this. Yeah, it does suck that you have to send equips from your deck to the graveyard. I don't know where anybody got that. Did everyone forget that the Artorgia's boss monster equips from the graveyard, and Excalibur ranks up one of these things? I think a lot of people just kind of discounted this and was like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to play Noble Knights, because, yeah, they're Noble Knights, but you got a very good generic warrior monster out of this. And, I mean, you can kind of play Bamboo Sword with it if you're gonna, you know, get super cheeky. I don't know why you would want to go to that level of cutesy for your deck, but it is what it is. I miss Kaiser Coliseum. I don't know about you guys. Kaiser definitely brought things a lot better than it actually should have. But here's the thing. For generic searchability, as much as they can give to Warriors, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you would have been able to reveal that bubble, search Bubble Man, reveal Bubble Man, do a Bubbly Man things with it, or literally any of the other cards that you recur from your deck with no stipulation of level, there would have probably been some very, very broken things you can do with it. The Noble Knight Link Monster, its game plan is to extend out the amount of play time and get you, you know, further past turn 2. It's not an OTK-centric card. Honestly, it's probably one of the better Link-based monsters that we're going to see in a while, because it goes beyond one turn. So, I don't know. Instead of giving us multiple cards, we have to play Rescue Rabbit. We have to play that stupid one if I control the normal monster, so I'll summon it from the hand. I mean, you've got plenty of ways to get to where you need to be. Also, kind of really weird that how the Noble Knights all kind of require... Medrot requires my opponent not to have monsters to use this effect. I was actually, like, happy thinking about some of the combos, but, like, Artorias turn 1 is kind of actually extremely hard because you need to have the massive dump off of this thing. You know, I was always just hoping that they were going to give us a spell card that included the text, you know, send X equipped cards from your deck to the graveyard to spell summon a warrior or something like that. They literally put the card effect that I wanted on the actual card, which is really weird for a Link monster. But hey, you know what? If it gives me those double helix vibes and, you know, puts a chill down my spine, I'll accept it for what it is. And I definitely think a lot of people are going to as well. Fucking nuns with guns. Definitely got my Battle Sister vibe from that card. You know, in addition to, says your deck didn't get a Link monster or a power-up in the sense of this set, you know, don't be discouraged. You know, Grand Manju guy, he taught us that if you love what you're playing, you know, play it. Even if your goal is to top, you might be a little bit miscued. But if you're going to get a feature match, make a name for yourself, you know, be that Grand Manju guy, you know, it's a step in the right direction to building you a career in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I'm not saying Noble Knights are the most phenomenal deck in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I might not ever play them competitively, but stick with the decks that you enjoy. You know, don't abandon them because they're not good. You know, every Spyro player got their bone thrown at them, literally. You know, Double Helix was a godsend. Same thing with some of these Link monsters for some of these themes, you know. The Crystron one, phenomenal. Absolutely nuts. Same thing with the plant one, you know. You just hold on to the decks, because Konami's definitely shown that the legacy support they roll out is definitely worth it for a lot of these themes. Honestly, a lot more than some of the others. You know, you never know when you're going to be having stuff like Max Ready Mermails, because you played the deck a long time ago, picked up everything Max Ready, you just never sold it off, you know. Same thing for all the players that have Shaddoll Constructs. Same thing with all of these duels that have gathered up. Hell, even Max Rarity stuff in today's format. You know, you got to look at like the long haul. And it really sucks to say that, because a lot of the Max Rarity stuff in today's game, it's very expensive, and a lot of people are always tempted to sell it off. You know, look at Spirals. Now, Spirals had their up, now they're back down to fucking literally nothing. And the deck is extremely viable at the moment, a little bit more than most. You know, some engines will turn out being like kaijus, you know, or on the other side of the equation, you'll have UAs being 3 good cards away from being a viable deck in a format. They'll do pretty decent. You know, people like Trey Faircloth saw that deck was doing all right, and they picked it up, rose to the occasion. And unfortunately, because the way that they are designing these newer archetypes, they're not fully supporting them the way that they should be. You know, releasing 12 to 15 cards, you know, and expecting some of these to really take off. You know, fundamentally, there were a lot of things that they could have done for Noble Knights. honestly, there still kind of is a lot of things that they can do for the deck, but adding much more to the lore, you know, a lot of people can be like, well, it's unfair, why are Noble Knights getting 30 more cards, and, you know, my hero deck isn't. Well, I mean, to be fair, heroes were an era. Noble Knights were like a year of Konami support, followed by just diarrhea on Platinum Rare. So, take that for what you will, but moral of the story, though, like I said, just because your deck doesn't get new support printed for it, or you're very discouraged by the support you were just given. ITT, every Battleshade player in the community at the moment. Oh, I felt those tears when those Battleshade players were crying. Literally, they were tears of candy and joy. But, you know, it's none of my business. It forced Battleshade Magdalenes to start going up in value. People will literally, if they see support cards for, even if it's absolute fucking shit, Noble Knights can get a fucking new vanilla monster and people will lose their fucking minds and start buying them. I don't understand that mentality. Is it because the deck was once incredibly good? Also, where the hell's my, are we gonna do like a Link Vrains 2-pack here? Because, like, there were a lot of themes that didn't get stuff. Dragoonities didn't get one. Where'd my Dragoonity monster? Huh? Huh? You know, Ritual Beast got one. Fucking Zephyra got one. Fucking goddamn Zephyra. And then, what was it? Archfiends got one? Why the hell you giving Archfiends one? You could have gave Toons a Link monster. You know, I think a lot of these themes that they produced in this pack are literally just, we're done touching them. It's okay. You know, it's time to put a lot of them down as we move into the next era. You know, the not forgotten but forgotten mentality. I didn't say it was a good mentality, but it definitely, it shows through with some of the designs on some of these cards. So, time to ask the honest question. You know, do you think the Noble Knight Link monster is good? Are you happy with what the decks received in this pack? You know, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'm ecstatic for where this is going. The Gem Knight monster is phenomenal, and quite honestly, I think the Noble Knight one is a great start in the right direction for where I think they're trying to push the decks. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. You know, it's really strange how long it takes them to produce 20 odd cards in like a 3-month time span. It really, it's interesting, the timetable of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright guys, I'm out. Later.